Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of this Curse of the Black Sun, or I guess it's called just Black Sun, but why is it not called Curse of the Black Sun? I feel like that would ring off better, but I guess it's just Black Sun. Anyways, welcome to the Black Sun expansion. We're back today with monsters, and then tomorrow we got Northern Realms, and the next day we got Nilfgaard, and then Neutrals the next day, and then the next day is Patch Notes, which we actually got a little bit of a spoiler for Patch Notes today. We got one card I'll be able to show off when it comes to the patch notes on make sure the music's not too loud on Monday. So let's just get right into it, shall we? 3 for 4. We got Orchid, MANTRAP, plant, cursed, deploy, melee, consume an allied unit. Okay, I feel like this song is really loud. One sec. Maybe this one's a little bit more chill. Okay. Alright, anyways, consume an allied unit. This unit triggers Thrive an additional time, deploy ranged, infuse 2 allies with Thrive. And it's good to see that they're using infuse more and more. It's not just as I, thought, hopefully that wasn't going to be just used in a couple cards. It's being used in a lot of cards, and it's even being used in old cards that we'll see later in a little bit. So that's good. That's good to hear. And all these new cards will be focused on Thrive this time. Not consume, but Thrive. So also look at this picture. This guy is encased into this MANTRAP. It really is a MANTRAP, I guess. So consume an allied unit for 4 provisions is always pretty nice. It's not bad. There's definitely a lot of cards, but the fact that this card can trigger a Thrive in additional time. So that means if you have multiple Thrive engines, this will not only trigger it once, but twice. So that's if you play on the melee row. If you play on the back row, you can then infuse 2 units that maybe don't have Thrive already. Maybe you Thrive another one of these, or you Thrive a different unit, and then you could play the other copy of MANTRAP and then get a bunch of points. So, there is some flexibility where the melee is instant value. The back row is really only playing for, it's a 3 for 4. Giving your units Thrive, which can be +2 with each Thrive if you have, if you put it on 1-point engines, if you can get that, if that's possible. And we did find out that you can put infused Thrive on a unit that already has Thrive, and you can put infused Harmony on a unit that already has Harmony. So those do work. So how it works is, let's say a unit is 4 and you play a Thrive unit of 6, it will boost up to 6. If you play a Thrive unit at 5 and the unit has 4 Thrive, it will only go up to 5, not 6. So there's some plays. So I don't know how necessarily if it'll be used in that way where you can infuse multiple of the same unit with Thrives. We'll see. It might be a very niche case, but it's nice that works. It's nice that that's an interaction. So keep that in mind, I guess. So overall, this card is, pretty good. You want to run some Death Wish cards. This would be good with Archispore. That's the 4 for 4 that when you consume it, Death Wish, it will play another Archispore from your deck. So this is good synergy with that. Yeah, overall, pretty good card. Has the good Thrive on multiple units, which could be very useful depending on if you play wide. It feels like with monsters, this will be very, hey, I want to play Yrden against monsters in this Harmony. So maybe we'll be seeing Geralt Yrden more again. I know that people don't like Yrden. Some people don't like Yrden. Some people don't mind it. I'm on the fence. Doesn't really bother me. But it looks like Yrden will be definitely more popular, probably coming up with this expansion. So first card starting off pretty good. Let's get into the Cursed Damsel, a 4/4 human aristocrat cursed. She has Thrive. Now you might be thinking, isn't there a card that already does that? Hold up. 4/4 Thrive. There is a card that already does that, but we'll check that in a second. Order, have own power and destroy an enemy unit with power up to the power removed from self. That's very confusing the way it's worded. I don't know if it could be worded a little bit better, but to me it's a bit weird. But basically what it means is, let's say you, for example, her 4.5 would be 2. That means you do 2 damage to an enemy unit. This is just really good, obviously, because you can keep boosting your unit up and up and up, then damage self to deal damage by the amount that you halved to an enemy unit, and then it will act like a Thrive engine again. So let's say your Thrive engine, it's all the way up to 6 or 7. You can't play any more units that will boost that. You do the damage. Now it's back to being a Thrive unit again, and it gets boosted up again. So yeah, that's really good. And it's 4 provisions. This is a really good Thrive card for 4 provisions. At least in my opinion, this acts as removal. Whereas Thrive usually has to play like Adastriga, which is relies on dominance. So I think this is a nice way to have a way to deal with some engines, or just deal with some cards as Thrive. So overall, a pretty strong starting card. Definitely would probably put 2 of these in my deck. And at 4 provisions, it's good because Thrive really has issues with provision costs, because you play Gurney, and I'm pretty sure they only have a starting boost of like 11 or 12 for provisions. I can't exactly remember, but it's like something like that. So that's very small. So the provisions are usually very tight for a Thrive deck. So, I mean, this is just a really good card. Both these cards are pretty nice. And if you put Infused Thrive on her, you can get even more value and do even more damage, and then she'll go all the way back down. So it could be a cool little synergy. All right. So this is the other card. So this is not a new card, by the way. This is just one of the cards that are being changed just for, because already Necker Warrior is a 4/4 with Thrive, but now he's going to be a 7/4 if this card would trigger any of your Thrive units, damage self by 3, and infuse self with Thrive. So this is nice. So this is what I mean about them taking even current cards, reworking them a little bit, and adding the Thrive tag with Infuse. I'm glad that they're adding Infuse to other older cards as well. It's not just like a, hey, this is only for this new expansion. This is also for cards that we've seen before. This is a nice change for Necker Warrior. He will actually be playable, because he's just good. 7 points is nice. 7/4 is always nice. There's a good amount of 7/4s, but this doesn't really have the downside. Like, let's say you play Ekimara. No. Yeah, some warrior. It's a 7. You guys will know, obviously. 7. I think it's 7 in 2 armor. When he loses his armor, he just dies. Or you play the 7-point not Conqueror, but the 7-point Wild Hunt card that, if it's not Devotion, it dies as soon as you play it. This has no downside, really. Like, sure, you damage yourself by 3, it goes down to a 4/4, but now it has the Thrive tag in it. So that's obviously good, especially with this card, especially with this card. Not necessarily this card, but this card, yeah, it's pretty good. And with cards later. So I'm glad that they're taking a look at some of these older cards and giving them a little bit more of a modern tune-up. And this is pretty damn good now. You gotta keep in mind, though, there's also a really good Intriga Larva. That's still a really good Thrive unit that makes multiple copies. There's just regular Necker that plays for 4. I mean, 4 provision that plays 2 1/1s. Like, 2 1s. So I guess the question is, do you really want to run this many 4-point provision cards? Well, maybe if we take a look at some of the higher cost cards. Sir Scratch-A-Lot with the cat playing with an eyeball. Awesome. It's a 4/8 at the start of the game. Gain immunity. Boost self by 0 on deploy. Order, increase the boost value by 2, and then replay self. Units played on the opposite side can trigger Thrive abilities. So I'm guessing when it means opposite side, it just means, like, let's say you play this in the range row. That means the range row will now boost your range row Thrive units. I'm guessing that's what that means. So yeah, this card is obviously pretty damn good. It has immunity, so immunity is always really good. I mean, I think we all can agree that against no unit decks, immunity is what makes those decks really annoying. And there's no real direct way of ever countering this card unless you play Scorch or Yrden. Like I said, Yrden does look pretty good. I guess there's some value there. But basically, he will just, or she, no, it's sir. No, so he will constantly keep boosting himself by 2. You gotta keep in mind, though, whenever you play the order and replays itself, I'm guessing what happens is it just plays its boost, and then you have to wait another turn for the order, because so it's like every other turn you get to boost by 2. But even if that's the case, it'd become a 14/8, and that's not even including That's if you play it first. And that's not even including the fact that your opponent triggers your Thrive on the other board. And like I said, there's really, like, the only ways to counter this card is Scorch. Enigni, right? Yeah, I think so. Damn. Okay, so this card will always basically just be like, hey, you're now doing the Thrive. Which, you know, always can be a good thing or bad thing, because if you're doing too much Thrive, then your units are so tall that, like, you can't proc any more Thrive. Well, let's take a look at the MANOR'S Dark Secret 14 provisions. Whenever you play a unit with Thrive, spawn Cursed Damsel, so you get, not one of those, first thing. So you already get a Thrive unit as soon as you play this card. Whenever you play a unit, if it would not trigger any of your Thrive units, boost it by 2 first. So with this card boosting all your Thrive units, you'll still get some value. It's not like crazy good value. Like boost by 2 is nice. It's not bad. It's not. There's no downside to playing. Like, let's say all your Thrive units are already at 7, and you play a 7. It'll now be a 9, which will trigger those Thrives. That's pretty good. So there's definitely this is a really good way of, and I think that's the common theme with all these scenarios, is taking all the downsides with Harmony, with Pirates, with Syndicate, and I forgot for a second what faction we talked about yesterday, and giving them a way to counteract those downsides. This is a really good way of counteracting the downside of Thrive. Sometimes you have so many Thrived units that you're like, I can't get any more good points. Now I can get some good points still. And like I said, this card giving you multiple units with Thrives, consuming, and all this fun stuff, all this Thrive stuff, it's exciting. And then Chapter 2 is just play the highest power bronze monster unit from your deck, which could be just, you know, a Necro Warrior. Or try to think what other bronze units that you might throw in the... yeah, it's usually around 7 or 8. But hey, I mean, that's still quite good. In total, like, this scenario can play for a lot of points. And if you play like a 7 from your deck, for example, then you can boost it by 2, and then goes to a 9, and then it boosts all your units. So it's good. It's just a good value card, and yeah, I'm excited to see exactly how Thrive will be. I haven't played Thrive in forever. I mean, the reason why you don't play Thrive is because you'd rather just play Relics. Yeah, Relics is just a better Thrive in most cases. At least that's what it feels like. So it's interesting to see if Thrive will be a bit better, and seeing that there are changing cards like this, maybe there could be very well more changes in the patch notes with different other cards, with different factions that we already talked about, that could help make those factions feel even better than what they are. Overall, I mean, so far, it's been exciting. I don't know about you guys, but I've been excited for all these. It makes me want to try out each and every one of them. Usually, when I see a new expansion, there's always a faction I'm just like, it's not really my thing. But, you know, seeing Thrive come back, seeing Horde and Harmony and Pirates, of course. It's exciting. It's awesome. And I guess that wraps it up. They're all very good value cards, and that's been the common theme of these videos, is just the cards from a value standpoint are just very strong. It's really hard to speculate on if this card will be broken. This card could be very well very, very good, just because it has immunity, just because it boosts itself constantly multiple times. Who knows, maybe people will play like Renew or some shit so you can play it again in another round. I don't know. So yeah, I can see this card being extremely good. And this card will just be nice just to have extra removal in Thrive, where Thrive doesn't usually remove things. So this is just a really nice way of still keeping the Thrive, but also doing damage. Yeah, so overall, awesome day of reveals. What do you guys think? You guys excited for some monsters? Or are you guys excited for tomorrow, which is Northern Realms? Ooh, I love Northern Realms, and I also love Nilfgaard, so... You know, usually when it comes to reveals, monsters and Syndicate are usually on my low list of ones that I'm excited for, but these two have been quite good. I'm a little nervous for Nilfgaard, as always. We're always kind of like, but so far it looks good. And thank you guys very much for watching my past videos and liking and all that. That's the amount of support for these videos have been incredible. I'm glad you guys are enjoying them. If you guys want to keep doing these for future expansions, I can do that for you guys as well. And the next expansion comes out in October, I think. So I can definitely do a same style videos for that as well if you guys want. Overall, I'm excited. I'll be trying out some bad Thrive decks coming out on Tuesday of next week. Not much longer, guys. Only Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 4 more videos coming for you guys. Coming up tomorrow at 4 p.m. AST, as always, with Northern Realms. Hope you guys all have yourselves a great day. Tomorrow's Canada Day. Peace out, guys.